Building muscle is probably one of the easiest things to do in bodybuilding, and it really does surprise me that so many people find it such a difficult challenge. If you want to build muscle, all you need to do is train hard and train smart and eat as much food as you possibly can, and I'm 100% confident you will start growing. You destroy your muscles in the gym. You create those tears in the muscle which allows the food you are eating to be absorbed, and your muscles build back bigger and stronger. It's very easy, really. Now the hard part is building muscle but keeping your body fat percentage low at the same time. Building muscle itself is simple. Train as hard as you possibly can and eat as much food as you possibly can, but building muscle whilst maintaining a low body fat percentage is not so simple. I want to cover two main topics in this video, and the first is I want to teach you the correct process or formula to building muscle while keeping your body fat percentage as low as possible. And the second is I want to teach you why you must clean bulk and not dirty bulk, and explain to you the reasons why it's important to be eating good quality foods instead of just stuffing your face with basically anything you want. A lot of people believe the off-season meaning the period where you are no longer looking to drop your body fat and want to start building muscle, is a time to relax on the diet, and as long as you are keeping your calories up, you are still going to grow. Yes, this is true, but you are missing out on so much gains because of the quality of food you are eating. A lot of people also believe that a calorie is just a calorie and they are all the same, whether they come from good foods or bad foods. You are still consuming the same amount of calories on a daily basis. Your body's still going to be in a calorie surplus and you're still going to grow in the off season. Yes, this is also true to an extent, but I'll explain to you why your off season or your muscle building period must be done properly with good quality foods. Building muscle through food is a very similar process to dropping fat through food, but it's switched the other way around. You need to come up with an original starting diet which is called your base diet, and the very first thing you need to take into consideration is the amount of meals you are consuming on a day-to-day basis. You originally start dieting for a male should contain at least 6 to 8 meals, and females I've always said around 4 to 6, about 5. You might think eating 7 or 8 times a day is a lot and you can cram that amount of food into 3 or 4 meals, but you don't want to do that. Eating on a more frequent basis is the very first step in building muscle while staying lean, and probably the most important step because it kickstarts the process and it's going to maximize how well your muscles absorb the food and stop you from storing fat because the speed of your metabolism is going to be fast. I want you to think of it like this. If you're eating 3 times a day, you eat 1 meal, your body processes that. 4 hours later, you eat another meal, your body processes that. 4 hours later, you eat another meal and your body processes that. For the entire day, your body is only processing food and sending the nutrients from the food you are eating to your muscles. You are trying to build 3 times a day. Compare that now to if you're eating, let's say, 7 times a day. Your body has to process food on 7 different occasions. It is working in overdrive to send those nutrients to where they need to go. You are feeding your muscles good quality foods constantly throughout the day, and your muscles are going to repair so much faster by eating more frequently. Remember, you are not building muscle whilst you are in the gym, you are building it whilst you are recovering from your workouts. When you are eating and when you are sleeping, this is when the muscles are growing. So without food and without adequate amount of sleep, you are not going to put on any size. Eating more frequently is going to ensure your body is functioning at its best all the time. Your muscles are being fed good nutrients throughout the entire day, and this is literally the one and only way to increase the speed of your metabolism and maximize muscle recovery. Whether you are dieting to lose fat or in this case build muscle, each and every one of your 7 to 8 meals you must contain protein. If you are having a meal with protein, carbs and fats, all good, it's a muscle building meal. If you have a meal with just carbs and fats, it's just a waste of time. It's not going to have any benefit at all on your body. All it's going to do is make you fat, so make sure all of the meals you eat must contain some form of protein. When you set out to build muscle and start your off season, it needs to be for a set period of time. The reason I do give a 16-week program is because bulking or growing for 16 weeks is more than enough time for you to put on some serious size while still keeping your body fat to a minimum. The process I'm about to explain to you is actually very simple. It is very easy to follow, but I do have to emphasize that this process only works if you are training at an extremely high intensity in the gym. You can eat all the food in the world, but if you aren't breaking those muscles down in the gym, you're not creating any tears in the muscle, the glycogen in the muscle stays full and you will get fat, the nutrients won't be absorbed. You must be killing your workouts, which is the enjoyable part, and then let the food do its thing and you will grow at an incredible rate while staying as lean as possible. So here it is, 7 mils for a guy, 5 for a female. You can do more if you're capable. In all 7 mils, you want to have protein and carbs, and 2 of those 7 mils you want to contain good quality fats. But what we are going to be focusing on is the carb intake. When I'm dieting to build muscle, my protein, my fats usually stay the same throughout the entire process. The carbs are the only thing that changes when it comes to dieting to build muscle. If you find you are not growing fast enough, you can add more good quality fats into your meals, but as I always say, your original starting diet, your base diet should always contain a good amount of fats from the very start anyway. A lot of coaches like to complicate things and say you need to do this, you need to do this. But the way I see it is the more you play around, the more likely you're going to get it wrong. So make educated decisions, keep it simple, train like an animal, follow the process, and I promise you'll make some serious gains over 16-week periods whilst keeping as lean as possible. When you start the lean bulk, you have protein in all 7 mils and you have carbs in all 7 mils, and the fats stay the same from the start to finish. In week 1 of the bulk, you are on the absolute minimum amount of food you can be. You still want carbs in 7 mils to keep the metabolism firing, but only a small amount is required. You will more than likely not be building any muscle at this time during this period, which is fine. All you want to do is monitor your weight on this low amount of food and wait for your weight to stabilize. You will not lose any muscle by doing this. Your protein is still very high. You might drop a bit of fat, which will result in the scales dropping, but what we are looking for is your body to become accustomed to low amount of food possible, and you want your weight, the scales on the weight, to stabilize. Once your body weight has stabilized from the lowest amount of food you will be consuming for the entire 16-week period is when you know you can start muscle building process and that you are going to see some serious results. As you know, guys, I think of everything logically, and this makes perfect sense to me, and seriously, if you do it properly, it's a bulletproof formula for maximizing muscle growth and minimizing body fat. Once your body weight has stabilized, you increase the amount of carbs in one of your meals. Because you let your body weight stabilize and become accustomed to that low amount of food, once you add in more carbs, you will build muscle. Let's say, at a guess, you put on 300 grams after your first increase in carbs. The week after that, you increase carbs in another meal, you put on another 300. And then the week after that, let's say you put on 500. Can you see where I'm going? Each week, you gradually add some carbs, you will grow. Add some carbs, you will grow again. If you follow this process for 16 weeks, increasing your carbs on a weekly basis, you will literally be getting bigger by the week. I told you it's a very simple, easy to follow and very effective way to build muscle whilst keeping your body fat low. However, there are two things you still need to look out for. If you increase your food, 1 week and your weight goes up by, let's say, more than 1 kilo, after that, you really can't increase your carbs, okay? Because I believe you can put on anywhere between 700 to 800 grams of lean muscle per week, depending on your genetics and training program. Okay, anything more, you're really putting on some fat. So if your weight does go up more than 1 kilo, you're not allowed to increase that next week, because that is how you get fat. If you start adding carbs in at a crazy rate and your weight is just skyrocketing week after week, you know that it's not realistic to put on that amount of muscle. So you know you are putting on body fat. So you need to monitor that. You want to monitor your weight every week. You want good, consistent, gradual gains, but you just need to be careful and monitor it properly, because if your weight is going up too fast, you need to slow the carb increases down each week. A lot of my clients, all they want to see are the scales go up when they're trying to put on muscle, but what is the point of seeing the scales go up if it's just fat? You're just creating more work for yourself when it comes time to get rid of it again. Make sure you monitor your weight and increase the food as it's necessary, not just because you can. On the other hand, on the other end of the scale, for hard gainers or people who find it really hard to put on size, you might increase your carbs a bit more. Your weight does, because your weight doesn't increase at all. So what you need to do is once again monitor your weight. If it increases or good increases doesn't increase as much, add more carbs. If your weight doesn't increase, then you increase carb intake even more the next time. Okay? No one is genetically incapable of building muscle. It is harder for some people than it is for others, but I promise you, once you find the right amount of food and you keep increasing your carb intake on a weekly basis, you will keep growing. I told you it was simple. I told you it makes sense, and it really is easy to do, and it's easy to monitor as well. You just need to stay consistent, get all your meals in no matter what, and work your ass off in the gym. Every workout, you really need to be leaving the gym, feeling wrecked. Your muscles need to feel like they're on fire. You then need to go home, eat, and get as much sleep as you are able to. And I promise you will be getting bigger by the day. I also wanted to mention why it's important to be eating good quality foods and not get lazy and start eating what tastes good and is easier for you to consume. Okay? Think of it like this. I'm going to use the example of a burger and fries and lean meat and sweet potato. If you got, let's say, 50 grams of carbs from sweet potato and you got 50 grams of carbs from the sugary bread and sauce and fries with the burger, do you think your body is going to get the same results? At the end of the day, you are going to get the same amount of protein, carbs and fats, so your daily caloric intake is going to be exactly the same. So most people would think the results are going to be the same because you are consuming the same macro breakdown. But, as I always say, you need to think about things logically. Sweet potato is full of vitamins and minerals. It is a high quality, low GI carbohydrate full of goodness. Whereas the burger and fries still might have the same macros, but it's processed rubbish with no vitamins, no minerals. When the sweet potato gets absorbed into your muscles, those vitamins and minerals play a huge role in then repairing the muscle. They will maximize the speed your muscles repair. Your body is craving those vitamins and minerals after a hard workout, and they are going to be fully absorbed, whereas the processed sugar and dead calories from the burger and fries will get sucked into your muscles like the sweet potato will, but there is no quality in that calorie. There is no anything that your body wants from that. So yes, the calories are in there, the macros are the same, but they are dead calories with not as much benefit. So over a long period of time, like 16 weeks, which is about 112 days, the amount of growth and recovery and impact those vitamins and minerals you have consistently put in from the good quality macros will have on the repair and growth of your muscles, this is going to be huge. Another example to back what I'm saying, I'm sure you're all aware of, some bodybuilding motivation videos and nutrition videos with all the best bodybuilders in the world. You always see them eating chicken and rice, chicken and greens, chicken and sweet potatoes. You never see them, Phil Heath or Kai Green walking around with a tub of ice cream or a bag of chips, okay? Because it's junk. The reason they are the best in the world and they look the way they do is because they eat the right things at the right times and they work their ass off. If anyone ever does tell you a calorie is just a calorie and you can eat whatever the hell you want in your off season because your macros are still the same, they are wrong, and I don't want you to listen to them. Yes, the macros are the same, but the micros are not the same. The micronutrients being all the vitamins and minerals that are all the good foods contain, you don't get that from processed crap. Plus all the other health benefits. You don't raise your blood pressure, clog arteries, etc. I'll give you one more example. Protein powder versus lean meat. Do you honestly think and can logically understand how some processed powder made in a lab is going to have the same positive effect on repairing your muscles than what lean animal meat is? Your muscles are meat. Your muscles need the vitamin and minerals in meat to repair properly. Just because you get the same amount of calories in the form of a protein from a shake and the lean meat, it does not mean it's going to have the same effect. The only time I recommend having a shake is immediately post-workout because liquid is absorbed faster than food and it's going to be sucked straight into your muscles, whereas the lean meat has to be broken down, digested and sent to the muscles, which is going to take a bit more time. Okay, so a calorie is not always just a calorie. You need to be eating the right kinds of food all the time. Be smart, guys, do things properly. We don't spend hours in the gym, hundreds of dollars on foods and supplements to cut corners because it's easier. Make the most of the time and money you spend in the gym by doing the right things outside of the gym. Be smart. Don't get sucked into the easy way of doing things. The harder something is, the bigger the reward it's going to have, not only on your body, but in life in general. Work hard, do things properly, train with hardcore passion and intensity, get those meals in, increase the carbs week by week, and I promise you, you will get big very fast, and this is the best way to keep the fat off whilst building muscle. So try it.